The Big Footy Port Adelaide podcast is proudly sponsored by New Vision.
My team, kinda power. I love the power. I love the power.
Hi guys, Macca19 from the Big Footy Port Adelaide podcast here, coming to you with a bit of a podcast special this evening. Rick was able to have a chat with Port Adelaide centre half-back and all-round legend Jackson Trengo this afternoon to find out a bit of what makes him tick away from footy. Not only that, keep listening to find out how you can get a discount off of Jackson's new clothing label, Shyla Clothing. Here is the interview.
All right, so I'm here with Port Adelaide's Jackson Trengo. I'm volunteering his time for the Big Footy and the fan community. Jackson, how you going?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thanks for speaking to me today. It should be good.
Yeah, and thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. The first thing I wanted to ask you, and I've got a few fan questions as well, was I wanted to take you back to when you were drafted in 2008, and you had to come over. You would have been, 18?
Yeah, just 18. I think I was about 2 weeks. I just turned 18 for 2 weeks, so I was pretty young.
Yeah.
It was interesting. Probably going into the draft, I had a feeling that I was going to the Crows. So the Crows had pick 10. I was actually ripped my hamstring off the fibula, so I couldn't move my foot at that stage. So I was sort of, just wasn't sure, but I had a feeling I was coming to Adelaide. And the day of the draft, they said, no, we're not going to take you. So my manager came up to me. We were actually at the draft, and then it was sort of open again. So for me, it was... it was an interesting one. I had to obviously move over to Adelaide. I mean, the club does a really good job with it all, with host families and looking after you when you come over here and you stay with a player. I got to stay with Alapato, who turns out to be one of my best mates afterwards. So, I mean, the club does a really good job with that. But just moving away from family and friends that you've grown up with and lived with for your whole life. And at such a young age, 17, 18, having to move away from mum and dad, I mean, that's probably the hardest thing, and people don't realise that these young kids are having to do that and then going to try and start up their, profession, which is, it takes a lot to play AFL footy, but, it's a great experience, it's a great change. Probably at the start, I hated it over here. I didn't like living away from mum, I didn't like living with another family that wasn't my actual family, so... I probably didn't settle in until I moved in with Chad Corns, who was massive for me to be able to live with him and see how he operates, because he was just a professional. He was a super hard trainer and he was a super hard player. So he was a superstar of our club, and you quickly work out why he was such a good player and such a hard unit. So living with him was great, and then obviously being able to branch out on my own now and have my own place in Adelaide, I think really makes you feel like you're here. And I actually enjoy Adelaide more than what I would Melbourne now, and having my family come over here and stay at my house and come to the games on weekends, because Dad always loves coming over. I don't think he's missed a home game in Adelaide. So I mean, Dad loves to get over, and we're very, very fortunate as a family that he's able to do that with his job and come over and watch now at Adelaide Oval, which is one of the greatest stadiums in Australia. So it's all good now, but it was tough at the start, and I think a lot of young boys probably, you don't realise the struggle that they go through, and being homesick. And I was only from Melbourne, which is an hour plane ride. Some of these blokes are from Perth, or Jake Unida, who's in the middle of Australia. I mean, it's a lot harder for them because it takes Jake half a day to get home, if not more. So it's pretty easy for me to get home if I need to get home, or family to come over if they need to come over.
Well, it's no different to really driving to Victor Harbour, is it?
No, exactly. I mean, the airport's quick round the corner, so you just quickly jump on a plane and you're home within 2 hours. So it's pretty easy, Melbourne. I'm lucky that Adelaide's so close, and I love the beaches in Adelaide and love the lifestyle of Adelaide, nice and relaxed. And obviously the supporters are very passionate about their footy, which is great.
So how long do you reckon it took you to transition from sort of resenting it to actually being comfortable here? And I guess why did that change sort of with Chad? Is it just because he was a relaxed character, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think Chad knew so many people in Adelaide, and was obviously set up with his house. I think that was the most important thing. I think he showed me a different side of football. Like, you've got your football lifestyle, but then he's got a lot of friends outside footy, which was good to meet them, and then obviously see your lifestyle, because it's not all about footy. You got to live as well. it was just probably at the start of it. Probably took me 2 or 3 years to get really settled into Adelaide, and I was homesick, and we weren't going so well those years, so we were struggling. So I think now you come into the club, and we've got such a great culture at the footy club. Hopefully, a winning culture, and it makes it a lot easier. Where when you are losing, you do start to think, should I go back home to family or this and that.
So sounds like someone wants to come in and have a play.
I think my I say little, he's 55 kilos, got a Rottweiler, so he can obviously hear us talking, so he's pretty keen to go for a walk, I think.
Keen to go to the beach or something?
Yeah, I think I normally take him down every day, so he's probably due to go down for a little walk, so.
Yeah. So could you appreciate the players that can't transition and need to move back home, or you were able to make that evolution yourself and you don't relate to it really, or?
Oh, I don't think many nowadays definitely our football club. I can probably only talk from our football club, but we do it so well as a football club with development coaches. We've got Marcus Drum, who's the player welfare. We had Stewie Cochran, who was he's second to none at that sort of stuff of keeping players and making them welcome and really getting blokes sorted. So I don't think nowadays you'd lose too many blokes to being homesick. Especially with the culture of our footy club and the staff that we've got. We've got some great coaches: Ken, Michael Voss, Josh Carr, Matthew Nix. We've got that sort of side of things all down pat. Going back 3 or 4 years ago, where we probably didn't have the money side of things at the footy club. We're probably a bit under resourced and we weren't going well. I can see why players would leave, but now I couldn't see many blokes leaving because of homesickness.
Yeah. You want to stay for the opportunity. So we had a few people want to ask some questions. I won't say their name except for Fleur. Fleur, who I chat to a bit on Facebook, wanted to know if you would date her, even though she's about to get married.
Fleur, I don't know what Fleur looks like. I'd have to have a good scope out on Instagram or Facebook or something like that. And
well, her last name's Hughes, so you can go stalk her.
I'll suss that out, mate, and hopefully she's not set on private on Instagram so we can see a few photos, and we'll see how we go from there.
And I was a bit ashamed to ask this question on behalf of Macca, but he wanted to know what sort of tea you would be if you would choose a tea, and I didn't think that was very manly, so I thought he suggested maybe what beer would be the choice.
Cup of tea, I'd probably be a green tea because I like drinking it so much. It's very relaxing. But maybe a beer, I'd probably be just your stock standard VB, which is just a hard nosed.
Gee, that's a working class beer.
A hard nosed beer that gets the job done, I suppose. It's nothing special, but it's people relate to it and people like it, I suppose.
I don't know about that one, Jackson.
Victorians do anyway.
Yeah. Actually, the 4X Summer's not a bad beer. The low carb beer.
It's got West End. It's got West End covered the VB. I would have thought.
I reckon they're both sort of at the bottom of the beer chain. Elaine wanted to know about the greyhounds.
Yeah. What do you want to know about them?
How's it going?
I thought, lucky she's not asking me about the live baiting or something.
No. Well,
greyhounds, ours is retired, so it won 30, I think, starts out of about 45 or something. So we had a great row show with her, Cunley Layla. Yeah. It was we had a lot of fun with that, and it's probably not only the boys going out to the track, but actually at the club where the boys that aren't involved don't give a stuff about it, but then the boys that do Kenny would always, because Kenny was involved in it, Kenny would put it up on the screen after he'd won, and the boys were starting to, it was a good running joke with everyone that went on. So I really enjoyed it. It's done now, but we'll probably eventually get another one and watch it go around, which is good.
You weren't involved to horses?
Nah, never. I think greyhounds is my go. I enjoy watching them, but there's less cost in greyhounds. There's no risk, and obviously the horses is a big money game. But I'll just stay with the greyhounds.
Favourite sport outside of footy?
Probably NFL. I'm a 49ers fan. We didn't have a great season this year, but it's interesting going over to America at the end of the season and just seeing different sporting and the way they go about it. I was lucky enough to go into Boston and watch them train and do their weights and watch a few of their games and meet Rajon Rondo and Jeff Green, who were some big names. And it's totally different over there. They're on 12, 14 million a year, where our top players on maybe 1 or 2 million, which is crazy. But I enjoy my basketball and NFL.
Yeah. and your favourite. Someone wanted a quick review of your favourite musician or album.
Yeah, I was just saying, there's not many albums that you sort of listen to anymore.
Yeah.
I think nowadays you just your songs are. I like house music or hard house music, so I'm a bit different. The boys sort of stir me up in the change room, and when I whack it on in the gym, it's pretty hard. I think me and Daniel Flynn were the only ones that sort of enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But I do like Chris Brown, and his album's pretty good.
So you don't really pay attention to when I'm posting up the old Queen music?
No, actually, I was. My dad was very big on teaching me the way that real music is what he called it, which was instruments and singing. Where nowadays it's all computerized and all this sort of stuff. So I mean, I like your my first ever concert was Bryan Adams. So it was I've been to Meatloaf with Dad. I've been to what else have we been to? Just a heap of those old school bands, and I love the Counting Crows and stuff like that. So I'm not oblivious to all the good music, and as the people would say, but I do prefer the modern day stuff now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still stuck in the 90s. I really get trapped in the what you grow up with. That's where you always fall back to.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably, as I said, I like the anthems, but I like hip hop, R&B, and stuff like that too. So I'm pretty relaxed with my music. Everyone's different, and I'll probably enjoy a bit of everything. I'm not just stuck on the one genre.
And can you dispel a myth that's circulating, which is clearly not true, and especially a good mate of mine, Shane Prince, has started this one, and Al Carlton as well. They think that I'm a stalker of yours. Can you confirm that?
Well, Al, I did actually catch him in my out the front in my garden one day with the binoculars into my bedroom. So I wasn't sure. I'm not sure if that's stalking, but it was pretty uncomfortable.
Hey, I was looking for a contact lens.
I had to ring the police. So it was no. We're all good. It's a good relationship.
Good work. And I wanted to talk to you as well. You can correct me on it. You like to be affiliated with a charity that's brain sporting injury awareness?
Yes, I'm the ambassador of the Brain Injury Awareness, which is a week that they have every year where they try and raise a lot of awareness for brain injury. So it's not just sporting injuries. I mean, they are starting to get in that, but it's car accidents and all the stuff that you can get brain injury from. It's a great organisation where they're raising awareness around the world and around Australia to try and just get that out there to people aren't really aware of some of the stuff that goes on and the people that have got to be rehabilitated and so it's been a good organisation, which I'm just about to step up and do some more stuff with them in the coming weeks because I think Brain Injury Awareness Week is not far away. So. I enjoy helping out different charities. I've done some stuff with the Sammy D Foundation, which is a good organisation, and obviously Trav does his stuff in with the cancer. So I mean, most of the boys we're lucky because we're in a position where we're able to help others with the job that we're in, and the profile we've got. It's a good. It's a good life being able to help others, and we get a lot of satisfaction out of it. But I'm sure they do as well.
So what was the connection with the brain injury?
I didn't really have any connection. I was sort of just looking at some different organisations that weren't as out there as what some of the big ones that are raising lots of money and able to survive. Where my theory is to help ones that are a bit. Not as well out there as what some of the big ones are. So if we can get them any sort of publicity, I think last week we were able to get them, one of their beanies in the press conference heading into one of the big games, which was pretty cool. And just get the name out there a little bit and just so people can work out what they do and who they help, which is fantastic.
I guess it must be hard for you being a public figure because you would get a lot of requests, I guess, from people, and you can't help everyone and do everything, so it becomes a bit of a challenge at times, I'd imagine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if there's any way we can help out, we sort of love to do it. Obviously, we've got to train full time as well, which makes it even harder, but they do pile up. You just try and help as many as you can. Obviously, you get some requests that are a bit ridiculous and impossible to do. But if there's any way that we can sort of help out, the boys are terrific and don't get enough credit for what they do. Not that we want the credit, but it's everyone just sees us as footballers, and they love to spot out when you're doing something wrong. But the amount of good stuff that these boys do in the community and helping out charities and people, they put a lot of smiles on people's faces, which I think which is awesome.
Absolutely. And it's good to see that you support me with the teal Guernsey. You liked it?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I thought it was something different. I think the white Guernseys, I don't look very good in the white Guernsey, so I obviously not going to try on the teal. So I'll hopefully get my hands on my number 12 teal Guernsey, and I might try it on in the bedroom and just suss it out for hopefully years to come. Hopefully, I love the idea of having something different in the NAB Cup, and then obviously you play in your main one, but. The jumpers that we've got now are pretty spot on. I reckon our black home one's awesome. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's something that's very strong and very representative as Port people would love. I would have thought.
See, I thought I'd ask you that question because we can sort of segue that into you're a bit of a fashion guru now, aren't you? And you've started your own clothing brand.
Yeah, I don't know about fashion guru, but I've always enjoyed clothes and t-shirts and it's something that I've taken a fair bit of interest into, and I've just started up my label Shyla Clothing, which has been awesome. It started really well. Obviously we're a building brand, but it's something different. I think Adelaide, coming from Melbourne, I think Melbourne's probably a few years ahead of Melbourne's fashion and what we have in Adelaide. We don't have a lot of men's clothing that is really big, and I think that's an area where we should have the opportunity to have good fashion and wear good clothes. I think that I always feel better when you whack on a new t-shirt or a nice shirt or whatever it be. So our goal is to bring affordable fashion into Adelaide. I think we've started really well. We've been pretty basic with just t-shirts and starting to get some hoodies, but by the end of it, hopefully we'll have a massive range. And it's something good. It's good for me to get my head away from football on my days off or time off. But it's a great opportunity, and it's great fun as well.
So where did the name Shyla come from?
Well, I have to tell you, I'd have to kill you. No, we did a lot of experimentation with the name, and Shyla actually means brother and family, an American Indian, which we really looked into. And I'm actually doing it with one of my best mates, Harry Grigg, he's a graphic designer and a model. So with the brother sort of situation there, where he lives in my house and we spend a lot of time together. So we're very family orientated people, and it just sort of fitted in really well with what we sort of wanted. And it was a cool name, something different that really stood out. And something that people can relate to eventually. Hopefully we'll do a bit of a DVD or a little bit of a clip where we show where it comes from, and people, that's probably the most common question we get about it, is where it comes from. But that's a little bit behind it, but there's obviously a fair bit of detail, and we take a bit of inspiration out of the name of some of our designs that we come up with. And all the designs are done by Harry and myself. They're not just made up off the internet or whatever. They've been drawn up, and a fair bit of time goes into it, but it's great fun.
Because I saw you last year, you wanted that picture done with the American Indian with the feathers.
So I've got a fair bit of art through my house. As I said to you before, just I like helping out local artists or local people that are doing some stuff. We've got some people coming into our Shyla headquarters to do some different promotions and just to get their brand off the ground as well. I think that's a great way to help the community and people. I think everyone needs an opportunity, and if I can help in any way, I think that's pretty cool. And some of the artwork, I've got some stuff in my house from Mike Sanders, who's an awesome Adelaide artist. And all mine's custom done, so I go to him and say I want something like this, and he makes one of one, which is pretty cool. I like to be unique and different, where not everyone can have the same thing, which is probably a little bit flowing into our clothes, where we're going to have a lot of limited prints, where there might be 25 or 50 made, and then that's it, rather than the whole of Australia having the same T-shirt, and you walk into the same joint and everyone's got the same stuff. So it'll be a bit different that way, where we have a lot of limited stuff or one-offs where only you'll have it, which will be pretty cool.
Excellent. And so I guess ultimately down the track you might look at being a national chain or getting national exposure, so to speak. But at the moment it's an online presence for most people.
Yes, we're online at the moment. www.shilohclothing.com.au, which is it's basically just online. Eventually we will venture out to some shops, but we're going to be pretty picky with where we go and what we do with it. We don't want to sort of just go into it too quickly or too soon. We want to be really specific with what we do and make it really precise. And that'll be down the track. Hopefully next summer we'll have some into some shops, or maybe even our own shop if all goes well.
That'd be awesome. It's exciting.
Yeah, exactly right. I think it's just something to look forward to and something you can build on. And I've already learned a fair bit about how to start up a business and how to run a business just through this little adventure, which is cool, because I mean a lot of our time is spent with footy, and some boys don't actually get to venture out. And I think Port Adelaide does it really well, where they push their players to go and do some study, or start the boys. Trav and Robbie have got the Moseley down at Glenelg, so there's a lot of business opportunities for us. But it's about picking what's right for you and going with it and having a crack. I think I sat back there for a year and thinking, should I have a crack at it or shouldn't I? And then by the end of it, I just bit the bullet and said, you may as well. Probably I wish I'd done it, started 12 months ago, but, better late than never.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always, doesn't matter what business it is, it's always a courageous step to do it, because you always got people telling you, what are you doing that for, and why would you? But, I mean, once you started, it's great. But I think for you, it probably gives you a bit of work-life balance as well, doesn't it? It's like a hobby and a passion, and it takes you away from just the 24/7 of football.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing for me. I mean, if it goes well, it goes well, which is a bonus. But for me, it's probably just about getting my head out of football life and into the real world, such a thing. I mean, we probably live in a bubble a little bit too much, and we train hard, work hard, and do a lot of stuff out there. But we do have a great job, and I'm very fortunate. But just to get my head away from footy and away the daily grind of meetings and always footy. It's a good way to think outside the box and put your head into something different. Yeah,
that's great. And you said you were going to be very generous and give the supporters and the listeners of Big Footy and Facebook that follow us a promo code or something to get a little bit of discount on the Shiloh?
Yeah, we'll set up a code, and we'll obviously have it underneath the post here, which will be a code that you can just log into the checkout, and it'll give you a percentage off the code. So we'll have that running for about a week, so you'll have a week to get on. We've just released some new hoodies which are pre-ordered, so you can actually pick what size you are and order that, and they're going to be out within the next week or two. So
and that's the one that Chad was modelling the other day?
Yeah, so Chad Wingard is doing a fair bit of stuff with us and the brand. But yeah, the jumpers are pretty cool. We're pretty excited by the jumpers that we're bringing out. Obviously, all our stuff, we rely on quality and making the people happy, which we've had great feedback from the first run of jumpers. But this run, we're doing a little bit different so that people can actually pick their size. If they're an extra small or a double extra large or a triple extra large, they can actually purchase them rather than us not having the size in. So we'll have the promo code up, which I hope you guys use, and I hope you enjoyed the clothes.
It's great, Jackson. Appreciate it. I think the fans will. I guess on a final note, one thing, and I was saying it to you before, I feel like when I look at your posts on Facebook and your comments, you have a real passion for the Port Adelaide fans. Would that be correct in saying? Yeah,
spot on. I mean, our fans are what we do it for. I think without our fans and without the people that come and support us on weekends, we're nothing as players and nothing as a club. I think I was very growing up. I was very passionate about my footy club, and I was always with my dad. Family time would go down and watch the footy, or we'd go down to training. So growing up, I was probably very lucky that I had my father's support with that sort of side of things, and really showed me about what it is to support your club. And just being in with our club, it's the day that I actually got to the footy club, I felt at home, and I played in the Maggies with Tim Ginniver, who probably drilled it into me a bit more about how good this footy club is and the family aspect of it, but then the history that we've had as a football club, and not only the history, but you've now got to make you got to make the present, make the future, and make your own history, which is pretty exciting for us as a group. I mean, we've got a good young group, but as you said, the supporters, I like to interact with them and just so they realise that we're normal people. We're not no different to anyone else. Obviously, our job puts us in the spotlight and puts us out there a little bit more than what some other people are. But we're pretty normal, pretty down to earth, and we really do appreciate the support we get. I think coming out onto Adelaide Oval in front of 55,000, singing the Never Tear Us Apart, I think that's probably one of the most inspiring things that we'll probably ever see. Maybe apart from hopefully a grand final, but we're just very fortunate and lucky that we're able to go out there. I think every time I go out there, Alapato, my best mate, turns to me and goes, just have a look around, and I sort of get caught up before the start of the game, looking around at the people and how passionate that they are and we are as players, and then we're able to go into battle and try and win that battle for not only our team but the supporters, our families, and everyone else associated with the footy club.
It's been what the supporters did last year with the Never Tear Us Apart and holding the scarves. It's revolutionary for AFL football, and I can imagine running as an amateur sports person, you guys as a pro walking out there to that sort of atmosphere, it would be spine tingling.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think you look at Liverpool. We were lucky enough to go over there with Burgess and see their start of their games. But words don't describe how good it is when you're actually out in the field. And I think you speak to a lot of the players from other teams who you're probably mates with or whatever, and they actually just how scary it is for them to come out when we're singing that song. And I think in that last game against Richmond in that final, I think it was unbelievable. We got the loudest I've ever heard it, and then obviously the boys go out and perform how they did. It's probably scary to think how much better it's going to get. Being a bit naive there, I suppose it was brilliant this year, but it's going to be better. And obviously the club's doing a fantastic job with pre-game and what they do to get the crowd involved and all the stuff that's going around Adelaide Oval at the time of the game. I think it's growing, and I think that's the exciting part for us. And we want to be a part of it as much as what everyone else does. And obviously our job's there to get the job done on game day, which the boys did a terrific job last year, and hopefully we can improve on that this year. And obviously that Never Tear Us Apart is going to get bigger and better, which is scary to think.
Be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Well, Jax, I won't take up any much more of your time. Thanks for that. We'll get that code sorted. We'll put it up on Facebook and Big Footy, and I appreciate your generosity and your time, and we'll speak again soon later in the year.
Perfect, mate. Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Great work there, Rick, and once again a huge thank you to Jackson Trengo for giving up his time to talk to us on the Big Footy Port Adelaide podcast. Look, to get a 15% discount on Shilah clothing, go to their website at shilahclothing.com.au. That's SHILAH clothing.com.au. And once you've chosen the items you like, head to the shopping cart and type Power Big Footy, which is one word, Power Big Footy, under the coupon, and you'll receive a 15% discount on your order. Thanks once again to all our listeners for tuning in. We really do love you guys, and look, we're very humbled by the support that we get. If you have a suggestion for the show or have some feedback, feel free to get in touch on either the Big Footy forums, and you can also chat to us on Facebook at Big Footy Power and also on Twitter at Big Footy Power. Speak to you all next week. Calm Port Adelaide.
Wines, Gray, fancy, well done. Still Gray, handball's good. Westhoff could kick a goal from here. He does. What a start.